right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. There's another Call of Duty blog post that they had dropped on October 18th, so 2 days ago. It's basically giving everything like weapon wise and just how many weapons we have, all of the weapons that we currently are going to have in multiplayer, Warzone, and zombies. So we have 25 primary weapons, then we got 6 secondary weapons, and then we got 2 melee weapons. 33 total weapons on launch. And then we should be getting more throughout the seasons, as we always do. This is right here is the weapon unlocks by player level. Again, they're bringing back the prestige system, the classic prestige system. But all this ARs, all the levels are here. If you guys want to look more in depth, I will have the link in the description to the blog post, so that way you guys could go ahead and go take a look at it for yourselves. A couple of guns, obviously, that are unlocked immediately. I'm so happy that they don't got the riot shield at launch, because if I have to run into 6 players with the riot shield attached to the back, it's gonna drive me insane. So now everybody's free to, everybody's free to get it, bro. Everybody's free to get the smoke. So we go do that for sure. We got an assault rifle that's actually semi-auto, which I found interesting. Don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe there's a possible attachment that can switch it to maybe a burst. However, it does say it's handling an impressive rate of fire. So maybe it's as fast like trigger rate of fire. So as fast as you could really knock it down, maybe. AS Val, I loved this gun in Modern Warfare 2019. The way you could build this gun in Modern Warfare 2019 was submachine gun, AR, or even like a marksman rifle. I remember there was a specific attachment that changed the ammo and it became a semi-auto. This thing, oh my goodness, bro, this thing would smack, and I'm so serious when I say that. This goes on and on, man. It breaks down the shotguns, the LMGs, the sniper rifles, and all that. The camo grind isn't gonna be too crazy, too bad. Like multiplayer will have its own camo. Zombies will have its own camo, obviously, but now Warzone is getting their own camo grind too. So it's good to know that it's not overstimulating with camo grinding. Maybe it'll be a little difficult for Warzone, but we're gonna try to get it in Warzone. I'm telling you, man, it's mainly multiplayer and zombies for me. Hopefully, I mean, who knows, man? If they're both doo-doo, then I'm going back to Warzone. All right, so now it gets into like the attachments and how they're all gonna work. So gaining the advantage. So attachments almost always come with the benefit and not a con. So you're creating a weapon more potent than the base version. Sometimes I felt if you like made a specific weapon a certain way based on the attachments you used, it kind of was worse than the actual base weapon. Hopefully that works around it. All optics will be shared across all weapons in a weapon class. Unlock the red dot sight with an SMG. You'll be able to equip it to all SMGs in the weapon class, which is cool. So it's like kind of what they've been doing already. Like you unlock it once pretty much and you already have it. It says everything else is unique. All other attachment types, muzzle, barrel, underbarrels, yada yada yada, are unique to the weapon in question in terms of unlocking and usage. It's designed specifically for that weapon and not any other weapon. We're not going to get duplicated attachments across the entire weapon class. So a muzzle that the MP5 might carry is not going to carry what the Bison can carry. I think that's where they're going with it, but I could be wrong. Getting specific, instead of having a weapon function such as ADS speed being affected by multiple attachments that are difficult to keep track of, they are related to a single attachment type. So for example, kind of breaks it down here. Equipping a rear grip attachment will always improve your handling, and the grip you choose will boost a unique combination of handling stats to sprint to fire speed, all that good stuff. All the different grips are designed to improve the weapon's potency, not reduce it. So the result of the new system is to make players be able to build a weapon however and whatever way, and it be a really, really good build that the meta isn't necessarily needed, because every build is technically a great build. It just depends on how you play as a player, your favorite way of playing versus, oh, I can only use these 4 attachments because they're meta attachments. It's saying, nah. We can use whatever we want based on your play style and however you want to play it. It's still really good. So you don't really need meta builds. I think that's fire, man. I'm one player that loved playing outside of meta builds. I loved to always try different ways to play with the weapon. I'm glad to see that they're kind of bringing that into more of the rotation of you could build a weapon however you want and it's gonna be just as good. It just all depends on how you want to play with it. So I think that's really dope. 5 attachments per weapon is base. 8 if you're going to be a gunfighter. Gunfighter, if you guys don't know, it's a wild card. So if you actually equip the wild card, you then can put 8. Obviously, the more attachments, the better it's going to be with their new system on how each attachment is actually going to be less of a con and more of a pro, and stacking on stats. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for today's video, man. As these keep dropping, I'll try to cover them in a timely manner. During my videos now, I'm gonna start implementing some scripture, man, and I think it's important that if I'm gonna be a godly man and I'm gonna show you guys that I am a godly man, that I pour it back into y'all. My intention here is to show love is unique, love is powerful, and the Bible is big on love. In a world full of chaos, in a world full of trouble, hurt, and hate, and just so much evil, if you don't like it, man, you can skip right on ahead. All right, that doesn't change me as a person, and it doesn't hurt me. What hurts me is maybe you don't take the time to actually know who God really is and who he's trying to make us out to be. Instead of living of the world, live in it. Of the world means following what they do, doing what they do, drugs, money, alcohol, all of that chaotic stuff, man, that is only intended to drag you down and pull you apart. Look at what it does to families, right? I'm one to speak, man. I'll give you my testimony. My family is broken because of stuff like that. So I want to start by reading 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 1 through 6. Therefore, since Christ suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself also with the same mind. For he who has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh for the lusts of men. Lust is a big word, but for the will of God. For we have spent enough of our past lifetime in doing the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lewdness, lust, drunkenness, revelries, drinking parties, and abominable idolatries. In regard to these, they think it strange that you do not run with them in the same flood of dissipation, speaking evil of you. They will give an account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this reason, the gospel was preached also to those who are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to God in the spirit. And it really stuck with me. Family, if you're watching it, no disrespect, I still love you, but just to get you closer into what I feel in my shoes, right? Because Christ suffered for us in the flesh, a man who knew no sin will be sin for us, because I'm a human being. I make mistakes. I still do, and I'm working on it every day, right? I'm not sitting here perfect. I can't be. I don't want to drink. I don't want to smoke. I don't want to do any of that stuff. One, because it's just negative impacting the health of the individual. I feel no purpose in it because of what I've seen so much. He no longer shall live the rest of his time in the flesh for the lusts of men. I myself should not live to get pleasure and have entanglements with women, but I should just live for the will of God. For we have spent enough of our past lifetime in doing the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lewdness, lust, drunkenness, revelries, drinking parties, and abominable idolatries. Time has been spent so much there already. I've done the whole party life. I've done that part. I've already seen what it can do to somebody. I've done that part. So I've spent enough time. Peter here is saying we spent enough time in that already, right? And in regard to doing all of that stuff, the moment you decide to change, they think it's strange that you do not run with them in the same flood of dissipation, speaking evil of you. When you're of the world and you decide to do all of this stuff and you go to parties and you decide to turn up on the weekend and say, hey, yo, it's the weekend. Like, people around you and the people that you think are in your circle and the friends that you think you have, they're going to say, yeah, turn up, go twin. Go twin. But then you step back and you say, hey, yo, I'm done. I don't want that no more. So you no longer run with them. And then they start speaking evil of you. Speaking evil. Evil is such a powerful word. They start going behind your back and saying, yo, you're so perfect. You're this, you're that. Oh, you think you better than everybody? No. I just don't need a bottle or drugs to acknowledge my love for you and love for myself. But you can't love anything more than you love God. You don't love your family because you don't do this with me. You don't love so-and-so because you don't do this with me. You stop doing this, and so you're too perfect and you're too good. Nobody wants to be around you no more. Later in the scripture it says, they will give an account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this reason, the gospel was preached to those who are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh. So you're always judged in the flesh. What you do here, What you do on how you spend your time in the flesh. Flesh means just if I'm human, right? Like not of my soul, not the spirit. It's kind of dangerous because the flesh always tricks you. That's where the enemy likes to lie. That's why addiction happens, is because the flesh tells you you need it in order to keep going. The flesh, but the spirit says you don't, except you fight against it. It's a little bit of common sense, but it's harder to do than how I say it. Common sense is don't do these things because it's terrible for you, but it's hard. It's everywhere, man. Like it's everywhere in the world, and it's so easily accessible. Live according to God in the spirit. Allow the spirit to lead, right? You guys ever heard that song, Spirit Lead Me, where my trust is without borders? Let me walk upon the waters, right? Peter was one to walk on the water. Peter also denied Jesus 3 times after Jesus was being sent to his death. Peter was crazy. Like he was a gangster, bro. He had it all, right? He was the one that cut an ear off of somebody because they disrespected Jesus. So he was really 10 toes down, right? But Peter also struggled. Peter was a man just like you and I. He struggled too, right? There is a part in the Gospels where Peter was like telling Jesus, if that's you, Lord, if that's you, allow me to walk on water with you. And Jesus said, all right. So Peter hopped off the boat and started walking on water. But then eventually Peter started to sink because he saw a storm coming. So he kind of panicked a little bit. And so he started sinking. Jesus pulled him up and said, you of little faith. He tells the water what to do. He tells the wind what to do. He tells everything and anything what to do because it's his. The moment you stop living of the world and just start living in it, evil will be slandered towards your way. But it's not about being perfect. It's not about that. I'm not doing it because I want to be perfect. I'm doing it because, one, I've seen what it did to my family, my bloodline, literally destroyed. I just don't want to see that again. I don't want to do that for me. I got a son in the living room right now that depends on me every day. So it's not about me being perfect. It's about that's not going to satisfy what I want and what I need. Only God can give me that. My own wife can't even give me that. But I love that woman. So it's really a mindset. And I know it's hard. There's so many people that die in car accidents because of drunk driving. So many people that die over overdoses. And then you forget about how to battle with the world. And then you wake up with guilt the next morning. Then you're throwing up, hovering over a toilet like, ugh, I don't ever want to drink again. There's a very important message here. Is when you stop doing what they're doing, you become a target because you're no longer participating in foolishness. So then you start asking yourself, well, are they really your people? But it also states in the Bible that bad company corrupts good character. He works in everyone, man. No matter how far you are, no matter how lost you are, pick up the Bible, man. Get to know who God is. But there's stories in this Bible that literally break it down right in front of you. It'll break you down. This was written 2,000 years ago. And somehow, some way, it still happens. Don't go be perfect. You're already perfect because of God. Jesus paid your debt. That doesn't give you the right to do whatever you do. In America, they sugarcoat everything. In America, they say Jesus died for your sins, so you can keep sinning and keep sinning and keep sinning, and you're forgiven. Some might be saved in the last minute, as the Bible teaches, but only some, because Jesus decides. He judges the heart, man. Straighten up. Straighten up. Let's do it. You're better off going through stuff like that. You're better off suffering in your life than going to hell for the rest of it. Pick up that cross and follow Jesus just like he said to. He never promised life would be full of woo and no pain towards my way. He never promised that. He just said he will never leave us nor forsake any of us. Keep your eyes on Jesus, man. I know life is unfair. I know, I get it. Trust, I'm a broken man right in front of you, but you might have to go through some things because it's meant to make you who you are. If you never go through life in tests with unfair conditions, how would you ever know to grow? That's the beauty of life. And that's where the journey really is you have to go through stuff. But it's only intended to empower you. So that way, when that next wave hits, you're stronger, right? And you're better. You know what to do. Lessons. you learn in lessons. That's today's word, man. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of y'all day. Put God first, because God is amazing. Stay straight and keep walking in faith. Stay in the spirit, man. Stay in the spirit. We gonna make it, man. We gonna be all right day by day. Day by day.